Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is going to be a thoughts post. Now, for those of y'all who are new here, when I do thoughts post, it's basically me going over television shows, things that have happened in the news, entertainment, world. It's just a variety of things. It just depends on what's going on at the time that I want to speak about. Today, it's going to be about television shows that I actually do recap reviews on or that are great enough that people should be living for and doing recap reviews on because the content is wholesome and awesome. Like, I mean, leaps and bounds better in most cases than a lot of the stuff that people be doing recap reviews on. Like, it's just the truth. If you were to watch these shows, you would see exactly what I mean. So, anyway, welcome to my channel. Subscribe if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up. And hopefully, y'all will go back and forth with me and talk about this stuff down in the comment section, especially if you do watch it, because I want to be able to talk to y'all about a lot of these shows because they are so good. So, the first show I want to talk about is The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. Okay. Now, for me, I saw posters of this show. When I tell y'all 99% of the time, there are times that I will see a show and all I see is the poster. And I'm like, I think that's going to be interesting. And I don't know nothing about the show. Like, I don't see a preview of it. I don't know what's going on. This is randomly one of them. The Lord be knowing because, in all honesty, they should not tell you what this show is going to be about. There are times that they do that for certain movies and it makes sense because it gives away way too much. And so, yeah, um, I really feel like I would have been spoiled had they actually put up what everything was and all that as far as what I've seen. Because somehow I was able to avoid spoilers. So basically, if you've never seen this and it's something that you are interested in, I'm going to tell you right now. Spoiler alert. Okay, so let me tell y'all what it's about. Ptolemy Gray, 91 years old, he is on the brink of sinking into dementia, but he experiences a seismic shift when given the opportunity to briefly regain his memories, and he uses his fleeting lucidity to solve his nephew's death and come to terms with his past. Now, that's not the first one that I read because it didn't give away that much. But if you start watching the show, you could tell that that's ultimately what's going to happen anyway, that last part. I'm going to see if I can find the one that I read initially because it didn't give all that away. Nope, it didn't give that away. It says Ptolemy Gray is an ailing man forgotten by his family, by his friends, and by even himself. Suddenly left without his trusted caretaker and on the brink of sinking even deeper into a lonely dementia, Ptolemy is assigned to the care of an orphaned teenager, Robin. Okay? That was the initial one that I did see. Yeah, that second one gave a whole lot away. But like I said, as of late, there have been moments where I will see a poster and I won't see anything giving any kind of context clues or nothing. Let me know what it's about. And it ends up being amazing that somehow I was able to avoid it. I avoided all spoilers somehow because literally all I saw was the picture that I have as the thumbnail. Okay. I've done 2 of the recap reviews. The 4th episode is coming on in 2 days. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the 3rd one maybe today, later on today, if the weather isn't too bad, because we're supposed to get a whole lot of rain. It's supposed to be really bad today and possibly tomorrow. But I'm hoping it's not going to be that bad because I do want to get some stuff out there. Because y'all know I don't know, I just take everything day by day. I try not to put too much stress on myself. I don't get paid for this. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah, y'all. So, let's talk about it. Spoiler alert. Okay, so as I've already told y'all before, for those of y'all who are faithful, who really, really, y'all are living for me for whatever reason. I don't be understanding why so many of y'all live for me. And I'm talking about before I did my video reacting to what Tabitha Brown said. and then I was able to finally reach 1,000 subscribers. So I've already told y'all that I have an uncle who is going through this exact situation. Now, this uncle is what, 60 some years old, at the most early 70s. I think he's in his 60s. But this show has taken me through so many emotions. It's so, there's just so much real life going on in this show. And if when I tell y'all every single scene, it takes me through it because I'm like, we have experienced all of almost all of this with him. Um, I just can't. Like it's if y'all knew who my uncle was before all of this kicked in, you would look at him now and be like, I can't believe that this is happening to him. He is too great of a man. Like, why is this happening to him? And he was in relatively great, shape. He ate all right. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all from the country, so we gonna eat or whatever. I'm trying to get my life back on track. I have done alkaline. Alkaline does wonders. Um, when I first heard about my uncle's diagnosis, even before they were finally able to realize that it was just an early onset of it, um, I was saying it's sounding like something like along the lines of dementia. And even though they had been, my aunt was taking him to various places trying to get second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth opinions, trying to figure out what was going on because everybody would test him. They'd be like, he's great, he's fine. We don't understand what's going on until they finally, basically diagnosed him with dementia. But it's like, I've told my mama, I was like, Mom, can you please tell her to, if she's giving him any medications, to add sea moss into the equation and certain alkaline herbs or whatever. So, even if it's a way that she can implement it in some tea or something like that, if he drinks tea, like I need for her to like sneak it into the stuff because he's not going to understand what's going on most of the time. So I want to see if it'll work because the alkaline way works and it reverses so much stuff and it helps so many things that it's like unbelievable to me that this isn't a staple, especially in the Black community. But anyway, y'all, ooh, child. Okay, so on the 25th, which is 2 days from now, the 4th episode is supposed to air. For those of y'all who don't know, this is an Apple TV streaming situation. There are so many good shows that are out here. And it's crazy to me because it's like, how many more streaming services are people gonna have to get in order to watch all this good stuff? When I tell y'all, Samuel L. Jackson better win any and everything that come up just for his role on this show, because I think he's on the show and he has his hand in it, like maybe directing, co-producing something. I don't know. He doing something else behind the scenes as well. So yeah, it's been so good, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's been so good. That girl, Robin, has been an amazing help to him. Despite the fact that she don't even really know him like that, she's grown very close to him and she really advocates for him. And even when he has his moments, he'll have reality steps in, just like with the last episode. This man was trying her, like everybody be seeing her and be wanting to try to test her gangster. And I think it might have been the episode before that. They'll be trying to test her and try her because they'll see her and it's like they see a woman and they just think, oh, she fine. And it's written all over their face. The body language, everything is telling that they are trash. And Ptolemy stepped in and was like, I can tell by the way you looking at my niece that you don't need to be looking at her like that. Like, I'm gonna need for you not to be looking at her. Like, he went off. And she recognized how dope he was in that moment, even though the way that everything started out, she didn't really want to have no dealings with him. But she was like, well, I'm staying with this woman who was my mama's best friend. She told me to, fix this man's plate. And when all this other stuff was over with, to make sure he got to the house, she thought that was going to be the beginning and the end of that. But she ended up getting kicked out of the house because the woman sat up there and basically is coddling and trusting her son, who gonna grow up to be a woman beater, rapist, and some more. I'm sorry, he's trash already because he was over here stealing money from his own uncle. Like, that's his blood relative. Ptolemy is actually related to him. It's like his great great nephew. That's literally like Ptolemy's great great nephew or something like that, or great 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 nephew. And he was supposed to, bring him to see off the only relative who had been checking in on him. Didn't even know he passed away. If he had been called, he didn't know about it or he forgot. And like I already said, this man was 91 years old. I didn't even know that's how old he was until I just read it right now. But that man, 91 years old, he has dementia. He going through, he is seeing things all the time and wishing that he could fully understand why these memories and partial memories are happening. Like, it's so, when I tell y'all there's so many moving parts, it be tearing my nerves up. Like, that show is so good for no reason. If y'all want a good show to get into, you need to watch that. It is very much real life and it's very relatable. And I'm telling y'all, it get me in my feelings every single time. Okay, y'all. So another show that I have watched, which a lot of y'all might have been watching as well, is Bel Air. Okay. Now, of course, I grew up watching the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And I'm pretty sure, all the episodes. We used to sit down as a family and watch that. We used to sit down and watch that. Martin, like, when I tell y'all, as a family, it's 5 of us total. We would really sit down as a family and watch that. And then, you know what I'm saying, because of the time that it actually came on live back then, we would have to run and try to go to the bathroom and hurry up within the 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes that it was on commercial break. And somebody would be yelling, "It's back on!" Like, I'm just saying, it was really a thing. That was a great show. But yeah, Bel Air has been awesome for me. When I tell y'all, every time the episode would go off, I would go straight to Facebook and be like, "I am so tired of Carlton. I love the show. I don't like the way that they have Carlton on here." Spoiler alert for those of y'all who haven't watched every episode or who have not watched this at all but plan to watch it. So this drug addict situation, I'm just like, okay, I get it, because it's kind of like they're trying to be modern day how it would be. Okay, I get it. A lot of people are not feeling this because of the fact that that's not how he was on the original show. A lot of people have gripes about the people who were cast in all of these roles. Uncle Phil don't look like the Uncle Phil that we had back then. I don't understand people's gripes about the woman playing Will Smith's mama and who playing the aunt. To me, they are awesome examples of it, and they are playing the roles well. I don't know what they talking about. I feel like they were spot on with those, especially given that it was an updated version of what we saw back then. Hillary definitely does not look like the old Hillary, but it is what it is. And that woman is an amazing actress, Hollywood name, and singer, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I live. A lot of people who know the person who's playing Hillary, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know her before watching the Terrell Grice's show where he had her on there singing. And now the two of them have like a cooking show, because both of them are terribly bad at cooking. And that's the hilarious part. Like, they are terrible cooks in real life. And she's on this show as an awesome cook. And I'm just like, girl, wait a minute. So yeah, I was just like, wait, I can't. But man, the man who played Jeffrey, man, almost everybody on here, just about everybody is fine for no reason. And I'm just like, come on now. The man who played Jeffrey, man, woo. Let me calm down. So yeah, he is fine for no reason. The man who played Philip Banks, woo, child, yes, Lord. Hallelujah. In the name, he is fine for no reason. People, I don't know if y'all have seen the memes and the mean things that people have been saying about the guy playing Carlton. The most recent thing that I can remember that was mean that people said about this man was that he looked like a PT Cruiser. I know somebody bust out laughing when I said that. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, somebody said he looked like a PT Cruiser, and then somebody put a comparison pic which I was just like, I couldn't laugh and I couldn't be like, well, are they lined up? Like, it's like I was speechless. They had him and what is it? It was like that. He was like a villain slash hall monitor type situation. I don't forgot what was it. Was it Doug? Was it? It was some animated TV Recess or somebody. They were comparing him to him, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. They got to stop. Like they really be coming for this man every week. They come for him, and for me, the only thing I could say is I hate Carlton, and I do. I don't think he's ugly. I do not think he's ugly at all. And people really be trying to come for this man like he is just so butt ugly. And I'm just like, y'all really be trying it. Like the people, some of the people y'all be living for because they have money, y'all swear they fine, but y'all saying this man ugly. Like there are women who I know right now that live for Lil Wayne and he is ugly. I'm talking about right now, Lil Wayne. Dreads hanging on by a thread, Lil Wayne. Lean induced, drugged out. I don't know how his liver hanging on Lil Wayne. He look a fool. His breath look like it stank. His body look like it stank. Like I'm just like, what is y'all living for? Like I can't. Y'all living for the bank account. Just if you live for the bank account, just say that. Just stop the lies, stop the cap, stop all of it. But yeah, that show is good to me. I was somewhat confused by the storyline that Carlton started off dating Lisa. And tell me why people was coming for the woman who playing Lisa. Like they was like, oh, she's not Lisa. That ain't how Lisa looked. I'm like, y'all really trying to come for her like she frumpy, ugly, or something like that. That woman is earth thing. She was just thicker than who Nia Long was playing back in the day. Like y'all really came for her for no reason. Y'all really came for her for no reason. And I'm just like, why? I don't get it. Like people really came for her. And now, you know what I'm saying, Will and her are together. It seems like she lost her virginity to him. And I'm like, child, I don't understand why the two of them were so close, but well, part of me, I understand that he had his reservations because her father is a cop and he also is his uncle Phil's competition. And the daddy could see the handwriting on the wall about how much his daughter really liked Will. And so he trying to get information any way he can. Like if he was to find out why Will was there, meaning living in Bel Air and not back in Philly anymore, then he was going to be able to use that as leverage against Philip Banks. And it's like, you as a fellow black man, why would you do that? Like, why? And then, you know, my thing is, I would be forever grateful if I had a family member who was in high places like that. And given that situation, like, he didn't even pull a trigger. He had somebody else's gun, and all he did was speak words. And the people who really was out here, who was really the shooters and all of this other stuff, who be out here killing and thugging and drugging the community, they was the one who people needed to be scared of, not Will. Will just was a product of his environment. He got caught up because of his pride. Like, that is one thing that I could say that they kept true to, was that he was very prideful, and even if he knew his mouth would get him in trouble, he was willing to stand on whatever he was saying. And I'm like, all right, now you need to shut up before you get shot. Like, I'm just like, sir. I feel, well, I haven't really heard anybody say much about Ashley being portrayed as a possible non-binary or lesbian slash gay person, or just simply someone who is a part of the LGBT community. I don't remember seeing nobody saying nothing about that. So I'm actually kind of shocked. I probably just haven't seen it yet or something, because almost anytime anybody introduces somebody as gay, lesbian, or whatever in these TV shows and movies, people are like, "Oh, always just trying to force gay on us." And I'm just like, most of these people are gay. Like most of these people in life actually are gay. It just is what it is. My thing is, I don't care what y'all got going on in the bedroom. Do what you do. Love who you love. Y'all treat yourselves and everybody else right. As long as everybody's treating everybody right, do what you do. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, if they come to me saying to me, you know what I'm saying, I know that you're a Christian or you're spiritual or something, you know what I'm saying, what does, I've heard what the Bible says about this, whatever, whatever. I've had people to come to me like that who struggled with being gay, lesbian, or whatever, and they didn't want to be that. Oh, I tell y'all, I have a friend right now. I have a friend right now who he, when you see him, all you see is gay. When you see him, there is no question, but he is trying to suppress all of that. He doesn't have a man. He doesn't go out on dates. He does not have sex. He tries to stay in the word and all of that. Very fun loving, like he is everything. Everybody lives for him. And it's like he struggles with it. And whenever we talk, we never discuss it. And it's basically like an unspoken thing. Like, you know, he gay, but he does not want to be gay. It's something that he wants to be removed from his spirit in some way. But it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't want him to get that shock therapy and all the other stuff that hasn't apparently worked for most, if not anybody who's ever gotten it, who wanted to pray the gay away or their parents wanted to pray the gay away and all of that. But it just is what it is. So y'all, I ain't mean to stay on that part that long, but yeah, I'm just saying. It's just a lot that be going on this show. It's a lot. I don't like the fact that his friend got in his feelings so bad because Will did not want to come back home. It's like he thriving out there. Yes, we understand that y'all school apparently sucks at basketball if Will ain't the one on the team doing what he doing, which is sad, but I'm just saying. But how you gonna get mad at him because he has relatives who actually want him to be around, who are enjoying the fact that he's thriving, and he's enjoying the fact that he's thriving. Like, he actually is doing well in school. He's reading, like, he reads a whole lot now. I don't know if he was reading any at all when he was back home, but they would, like, everybody was shocked who would come in his room and see what was all in there. They thought it was just in the room, and they were like, no, they got me reading, and I'm here for it. Like, it is what it is. You need to pick up a book and read, too. Like, it's just like, y'all want to be mad at the wrong thing. How you mad at this boy in school doing his work, getting his lesson, as my folks would like to say? He getting his lesson and you mad. He over here in a safe environment, or a safer, or what is seen to be as a safer environment and situation, and you mad that he's not out there in the streets trying to survive. Like, his mama was even like pushing him, you know, being there for as long as he could be there. But, you know, of course she misses her child. I just, child. I can't wait to see who it is that's going to play his daddy. Everybody is speculating that it's going to be Will Smith himself playing his daddy Lou. And I'm just like, dang, the fact that don't nobody want this man to come into his life and for him to be seen, it's a lot. It is a lot. Anything else I want to talk about as far as that show is concerned? Y'all, I already spoke about him, but I'm just saying, Jeffrey. Oh, I be getting my life. I just be like, wait. I get my entire life. He is a thug. I am so here for it. I'm here for it. But he a thug with a purpose. But it's like, if you're going to be a gangster, if you're going to be a G like me, I'm a need for you to actually do it with a purpose. Now, like the last episode that aired, or at least that I saw, I think that aired, he didn't want to do what Uncle Phil asked him to do, which was to basically, you know, make sure that Will's daddy doesn't find Will or want to try to reach out. And he wanted him to find information on him, you know, more information about Lou and all this other stuff, because now that all of this press is on Will because of how well he's doing in Bel Air, because of basketball and all this stuff, people gonna come out of the woodwork. When you're doing well, a lot of people come out of the woodwork. And it's like, if you don't get some why, get some why. But yeah, y'all, I live for the show. Oh my gosh. A lot of people were scared of it. being a reboot, but this was good to me. I don't know what everybody else talking about. Anybody who want to be mad because it's not like the original, it ain't got to be like the original. It is what it is. And that fan made one that somebody made. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that wasn't picked up first, like 2-3 years ago, however long ago it was. That was everything. So y'all, the last show I'm gonna talk about is entitled From, From. Okay, I think I'm sorry, before I go to that, Peacock, if I'm not mistaken, is the streaming service that Bel Air airs on. Now, I was talking about From. From is on Epics, I think. Child, when I tell y'all, I already said to myself I was gonna watch it because yet again they had a poster and I was like, oh, I know that ain't who I think it is, and of course, it's obvious who it is. I don't know how to pronounce that man's real name. I ain't gonna lie to you, it is what it is. But the main thing that a lot of people remember him from was The Best Man, and back then he had locks. Y'all remember he was the kind of timid friend who had locks, and he ended up getting with the stripper who was played by Regina Hall. And most recent, before this show came out, he was playing Dean, who was the guy who had Asperger's or whatever situation that made him different on Claws. Yeah, him. But he stayed getting a check. It is what it is. I was like, Claws came to an end, and you walked right into another bag. I know that's right. I was so happy. But anyway, y'all, let me tell y'all what the show is about, because it's classified as a horror fiction show. It's good to me. It is good to me. All right, y'all. The residents of a small town search for a way out when unknown forces keep them from leaving. Y'all, to me, basically, to sum it up, is basically like people were living their everyday lives all over the United States, and then they went for a drive to go to work or to go wherever they was going, and somehow ended up in this random small town. And I mean from all over. No matter what you did, whatever your walk of life was, you ended up there. But right now it's a small community that everybody who, and then it's crazy because when you get there, apparently when you're trying to get back out and leave, you just somehow you're going in a circle. And I'm like, wait, child. So basically, when I saw the show, I was like, what is going on right here? Okay, because like I said, like I was in the middle of saying before, this was another show where I just saw the poster. I didn't look into it to see what it was about. I was like, oh, I'm gonna at least give it the one episode try and see what's going on. Because he in it. Let me see what it's hidden for. And so the show come on and we see him going through the town ringing a bell, and everybody got to get in the house by sundown. And I'm like, all right, now this is American Horror Story or somebody, ain't it? American Horror Story, The Walking Dead. And to me, it really is a combination of that and a couple of more shows that are like that. And I was just like, ooh, child, y'all doing a lot. But basically, you got to get in the house before sundown, close all your blinds and windows. You have this pendant thing that you put on the door or whatever to try to protect your house. And you have to not look out of the windows or anything and ignore everything that could be going on outside when the sun go down. And I'm just like, what kind of foolishness is that? Like when I tell y'all, I was sitting there with my mouth open wide. I'm like, wait a minute, Lord, what's going on? Child, I think the first episode, this man got drunk, and instead of him being at the house and going home when the sun was going down, he didn't come home. And he had a small daughter and a wife, and they at home waiting on him. And then he go run, walking through the town ringing the bell, and making sure everybody get in the house because he's, I think, like a sheriff, or whether he actually was one in another life, before he got to that town, I don't know. But anyway, it's basically him and a pastor, preacher, priest, or whatever that kind of keep everybody in line and help to keep their sanity or whatever and their safety intact in a sense. So the bar owner, if you will, is trying to get him to go home, and he was like, well, since you here, ain't nothing I can do about it. Your wife gonna be mad. He gonna sit up there passed out in the floor. The wife done went home. Well, the wife is at home. She done told her child to go pray, and she in her room and all this other stuff. Instead of the child going into her room and doing what she knows she's supposed to do, which is close the blinds, be done. In my mind, I'm like, did y'all give her the full scope of what's going on and what to expect? Because what ended up happening, I was tired of my entire spirit. Okay, y'all. So, like I said, he didn't come home. This man's supposed to be a protector. Y'all supposed to be protectors out here. Y'all want to be the head of the household and all of this. He wasn't at the house doing nothing to help protect his family. So the little girl hears somebody who is portraying themselves to be like her grandmama or somebody that she know like that, and she's coming across like she is so nice and caring, and gets the little girl to open the window. And as soon as she opened the window, the thing go crazy, kill her. The wife figure out what's going on at some point without us really even seeing that that's what ended up happening. Man, by the time that dummy sobered up and went to the house, the whole town is surrounding his house, and he trying to figure out why everybody there. And old boy, who is the lead character on here, that went off on him because he don't even know that his family up there dead, blood everywhere. And now he over here trying to figure out what he gonna do without his wife, and he should have been at the house, and oh no, my family. And I'm like, child, apparently your family was not enough. You thinking of your family and their needs were not above you getting drunk every single night. And then it's dumb because, like, after a couple of episodes, you realize that this is, alcohol that they are making. And somebody who came later on tried it, and they said it was terrible. And I think they're making it out of potatoes. And I don't know if they're letting it sit long enough for it to get to the really alcohol state that, alcohol gets to or something. But anyway, you get used to it apparently, but it still does the job. So as a deterrent, the sheriff made this box, if you will, this metal box that if you do something, it's basically supposed to be a deterrent for anybody, breaking the law, which typically is you not doing what you're supposed to do, being at the house and putting anybody's life in jeopardy and in danger, which is what he did. So it's never had to be used before. I think that this place had been in, whatever, in existence for like 2 years. I don't know. I don't know if it's a portal. I don't know what we even are supposed to classify any of this as. I don't know if this is supposed to be a Terra Nova situation. Like, when I tell y'all, it seems like 500 shows mixed up into one. I'm over exaggerating with the number, but it seems like maybe 5 to 10 shows mixed up into one. I don't know what's going on, but it's so random. It's like how you have in your regular life, and then all of a sudden you riding along, and then this is where you end up. This small town. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Y'all, they done put him in this box, and he didn't want to. And then the pastor was like, well, you put it as a deterrent. People gonna think that you're being soft and that, you just saying all this stuff for show, and ain't nobody gonna have no consequences. And so he tried to help him. He was like, look, he gave him one of them, I keep calling it pendants. I forgot what they call it, but it's like this rock that everybody puts over their doors, and it's in their minds. I don't know if it really helps or not. It's kind of supposed to help keep the things away. And the things that I'm referring to are people. They are actual, they come to you as like old versions of milkmen and icemen and women who they look like they came from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, looking like they going diner hopping, and like all of the people in most of the cases look like they came from, and I mean, that's apparently like as the season went on, or has been going along, because I've seen 7 episodes. It's like one of the residents who's been there the longest, he saw when the whole town that everybody keeps coming to was massacred by this person that one of these people who just came into town, their children have seen, who has the same name as a brother that he no longer has. He has a little brother or older brother that passed away. It was originally like three of them. So what happened, who I'm referring to, what I'm referring to is a situation that we found out about. There was a family traveling through, and they were basically taking a trip, which was a last hurrah before the parents came together to tell them that they were getting divorced. The oldest child, which is a girl, who's somewhat of age, she might have been 16 to 18 years old. I don't know how old she really is on this show, but she is old enough to know and understand what's going on. She already knew, but they didn't know that she knew what was going on. But she didn't say anything for the sake of the little brother. We ended up finding out they had another brother who died. I don't know how he died, but he ended up dying or whatever. And the little boy, when they were trying to leave town, they got into a terrible accident before sundown. And so somebody found out about it, and they ended up, because they had wrecked out with another car. And y'all, it was just too much going on. And so I think they found their way to, somebody was passing by and they found them and they were getting help. The sheriff went up there to help and all this other stuff. The little boy leg got tore all the way down to the ground. Like, it was a lot. And they ended up having to stay overnight and hope that they survived. So it was him, this woman who's an acting nurse, and everybody else went back to town, and they were able to protect him. The daddy, the son, were able to be protected by them. They, keep in mind, they don't understand what's going on. The people kept coming, trying to get them to open it. The daddy was over here trying to open stuff, and he was like, stay away from the windows, don't look out. And it's like everything he's saying to him is foreign and it ain't making sense. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, anytime they try to explain the situation to these people, to anybody new, they looking like, what are you talking about? Like, if you see these things, they will talk to you and make you want to open the window and let them in. No matter what they're saying to you, they will come across like they are helpless or whatever and just basically get you to open the window. That's why you don't even need to look outside at them, because more than likely they're going to get you. So they were able to survive the night. It had started raining in there. Like, the most, man, when I tell y'all so many twists and turns happened in that show, I was like, wait a minute now. Y'all doing too much. Every episode was too much. This one heifer, every episode, every time you looked up, something was talking to her like she was bipolar schizophrenic, telling her to kill various people. And it was going to be the way to get everybody out of the town and whatever. Child, this heifer tried to kill the wife of the folks that I'm telling y'all about, who had the son and the daughter that came, because she's saying that something is telling her that the son is the key. And I think that they were going to sacrifice the son, and he was going to be the way to get them out of there. Or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, the wife, she was gaining the trust of everybody. And so she had gained the trust of everybody else. So she was gaining the trust of them. The little boy liked her and all this other stuff. But the heifer tried to go and take the son by herself up the road to like a little farm or whatever. And so she was like, oh no, I ain't got nothing else going on. I go with y'all. So she went to go and show the mama something in a barn, trying to make it seem like it's just another way, another place where you can go get stuff from, a hide or whatever, and locked her in some area of the barn, and then went back out to the little boy, and the little boy was like, where's my mom? He started feeling like something ain't right. Something in my soul ain't right. I can't sleep at night. And child, it was a lot. And so other people started catching on. This dude she had been dating, every time you look, he knew that this heifer was killing folks. And what he did was he went and talked to the priest and was like, well, you know, you're a priest, and, you know, does everything still count as far as if I confess stuff to you, it stays between the two of us? He was like, yes. And so after everything was said and done, he was like, no, you should have told me. And you should have been saying something about her because all this random stuff was popping off. We didn't even know. One of the people who she killed, one of the first people that we saw her kill, which he might have been the first, I don't know. When things were telling her things, this heifer went up in the little place where one of the people who had been severely injured in that wreck from the other car, that had nothing to do with the family, she done went up in there and slit his throat, cut his tongue out, I think. She did the most. She killed that man something terrible. Then she went up in there and she killed the deputy's daddy. And the deputy's daddy had a wife, and she foreign. She don't really speak English like that. I don't know if she Korean, Chinese. I don't know what she is. Taiwanese. I don't know what she is. But anyway, you know she's still speaking her native tongue. But she runs like this diner where basically everybody come over there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they just feed everybody. And that's what her life is. And so the daddy was like too far gone, and it was kind of like a nursing home situation that they put him in. And so the son, even though he was a deputy, he would do what he's supposed to do and make his rounds throughout the day, but he would still go and see his daddy pretty much every day and report back to the mama. It had become very hard for her to see her husband like that, so she wouldn't really visit like that. Well, this particular day, this heifer went on a rampage, killed the nurse who was really good at taking care of him and all of this, and killed the daddy. And I'm just like, And like the man, like a lot of people think that because you going through, he seemed a little senile and going through, might have dementia, I don't know. And he could feel that someone right. And of course, because of his mental condition and why he in there anyway, ain't nobody listening to him. So that heifer that killed her, the nurse, and killed him. Something terrible. And I'm just like, man, come on, man. Don't nobody have time for this. Like, that man seemed so sweet. Like, everybody lived for him. So I'm like, man, it's too much going on. So anyway, back to the man who got put in the box. So they put him in the box. And Boyd, I think is what they call the sheriff. Boyd tried to give him one of them protective rock situations. And he was like, no, I don't need this. And he came before the town when they were talking about it and all this other stuff. And, you know, the old boy, he tried to have a change of heart and was like, I don't think he need to go in there. You know, of course, I put this up as a deterrent or whatever. And he was like, no, I need to face my consequences. Had the rock in his hand and everything. I'm like, man, look, the way them things tore his family apart, baby, I would have had that rock in my pocket and would have been praying all night that they wouldn't get through. Child, please. They put him in that thing. As soon as nightfall hit and he had been locked in that thing, I think them things tore him up within 10 minutes. Unrecognizable. Just tore his insides out in some mode. It tore him to pieces. And so Boyd had to get up the next morning and saw they had broke through the little thing and tore him up, and he had to load his body up and go bury it, burn it, or whatever. Child, it was too much. But I ain't gonna lie, the little boy get on my nerve. Sometimes children get on my last nerve, and he is one of them. And I understand he is gonna be somewhat of a key or whatever, because he be hearing the little boy. Like, I'm trying to understand, how is it that during the day he sees this little boy who has his brother's name? Now, he never knew about the brother like that. I think if he did know about the brother, he didn't know the name. But anyway, one day he talking to his folks. He didn't mention the little boy's name. He was like, his family was looking like, how he know Tommy or whatever the little boy name was. So they shook, and then he went and talked like the guy who has been there the longest out of everybody. He's really, 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 really weird. He carrying around the lunchbox that he had. This man is grown. This man got to be about 50 something. 40 something, 50 something, or 60 something years old. He walking around one of them lunch pails. Let me put it like that, a lunch pail, lunchbox type situation. A metal box is what he be walking around with. The same one he had when we first saw him as a child. He played with little Tommy. For whatever reason, Tommy didn't kill him. And all the little, I'm talking about this thing killed up the whole city. He killed up that whole community. when he was walking through the city, for whatever reason, I don't know if he felt like, all right, you're gonna be the one to tell the story, and I'm gonna let you live so you can understand and tell everybody else. If y'all leave us alone, I don't know. I don't understand the purpose of these things and why that particular one didn't sacrifice him. Cause he walking through the town trying to understand why everybody running and everybody got mowed down by Tommy and whoever else. All these other little, I don't even understand what any of these things came from, y'all. It was just too much. I just be like, child, where y'all come up with this stuff? But yeah, he went over to like this merry-go-round type situation and was playing with him. And he was like, come play with me. And I was like, child, up to my head in the black and white and everything. I was like, y'all doing the most. And him and the little boy get along. And one day he was going outside. He was like, what are you doing? And he was like, measuring the distance between the house and the trees because he feels like the trees be moving. Well, he was like, okay, so like for him to be a little child, he really be taking a whole lot of stuff to heart and really be believing this man that he just met the other day. Well, this man had to tell his older sister to tell the little boy that everything that they had been suspecting and talking about has been coming to pass. The trees been moving forward, meaning them things getting close to the house, the people, the whatever they are. And it's just, y'all, it's just so many moving parts. Every episode, I just be like, what is going on in everybody's life? But anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all liked my little thoughts post this time on these shows. If you ain't watching these shows, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I'm trying to tell y'all, these are some very entertaining shows, very, very good. And it's to the point where I never know where I'm going to start. I feel like I ain't going to never be able to catch up on my old shows. I had started catching back up on The Walking Dead and still trying to keep up with all my other stuff. I think I done got 3-4 episodes behind The Oval. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, a lot of stuff other people review, I've been watching them. Anyway, y'all, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up and let's talk about it down in the comment section. Bye.